Byabakama ikarma kwan kwini jomo kar kwi karma kwan presidential election.
Byabakama produced the genuine HDR forms for general elections 2026. Omukyala Lady Winnie Allison annamwandu w'omugenzi Jacob Olanya eyaliko speaker w'eggwanga erya Uganda. Kakati ampuliriza omukutu oli ku gwa Uganda 24 media bwentyo akwensinzidde okubanga ntusaako amawulire mu bujjuvu. Kakati ampuliriza embeera eyongedde okutabukira musajja mukulu Justice Simon Byabakama nga wenjogeera bino ampuliriza abwatyo amaze okulangirira agambye singa amaliza okutegeka akalulu kano aka administrative unit oba kayite a village LC1 and a parish LC3 elections 2026 bwatyo asabye agendeko mu ggwanga erya South Africa afunemu oba kyetwandiise okuwummulamu. Kakati jjukira ampuliriza musajja mukulu ono emabegakaawo yasabako visa okugenda mu ggwanga United States of America asobola okubanga afunamu ka vacation kyokka ebyembi ebyennaku musajja mukulu ono eggwanga United States of America ampuliriza lyamumma visa. Kakati ampuliriza ku nsonga ezibadde zigenda mu maaso nga zibanjibwa musajja mukulu ono Justice Simon Byabakama. Ensonga enkulu ennyo kwe kubadde okupresentinga DR form kwe yasinzira okubanga bwatyo alangirira akalulu 226. Kakati ampuliriza omukulu olwaleero agenze mu maaso n'okubanga ate addamu ekibuuzo kino wabula era nga bwazzenga akola always omubuuza ekibuuzo wabula n'akuddamu mu ngeri nga tetegeerekeka. Kasoke tulabe musajja mukulu Simon Byabakama ngaddamu ku nsonga ya DR form ate n'oluvannyuma nkomewo atweyongereyo.
DR forms ez'akalulu 226 akaba president zibirudda abantu bazibuuza tebaziraba.
Kakati
bye wali olangirira walinga obijjawa
ebintu ebyo kwegamba weebale nnyo kuleta ekibuuzo ekyo. DR forms afuuka DR form. Otunuulira amateeka ffe ng'akakiiko tugamba twatuukiriza amateeka gikatugamba ebikwata ku DR form. Etteeka ekisooka ebitulangirira oba returning officer ku district tally center oba kakiiko by'okulonda chairman ku national tally center bivaawa sebo nnyabo atulaba biva mu polling stations mu Uganda yonna. Akalulu akawere twalina polling stations emitwalo 514 n'omusobyo ebyali bitwalangira kuba ku district wani awangudde oba ku national tally center byali biva mu polling stations za buli kitundu kyonna mu ggwanga. Etteeka ligamba nti presiding officer alina kuwa buli candidate DR form alina okugimuwa ng'agiweereza ani agent bw'aba candidate yataddeko agents polling station. Ebyo byonna twabituukiriza. Twazibawa
ate nga bazibuuza
ati munange nyebuuza banjinga Byabakama banjagaza ki twazibawa buli candidate eyalina ba agents ku buli polling stations kiri muteeka sigamba nti kakiiko ebyokulonda ndowooza babimere tumuwe nedda kiragiro kigamba nti buli candidate ateekwa kuweebwa DR form. Twaziba
butereevu. Kakati ampuliriza oyo omukulu Justice Simon Byabakama ng'agezaako okularifyinga ensonga ya DR form ezibadde zimubanjiziddwa ebbanga lyonna. Kakati ampuliriza igwe nange akatambyako mwakalaba oba twagenda mu maaso n'okubanga tukalaba wabulanga akatambyako ampuliriza kigambibwa nti kakwatibwa okuva munda mu kakiiko ka Electoral Commission ku lunaku lwennyini Justice Simon Byabakama lwe yagenda mu maaso n'okubanga ampuliriza alangirira ebyava mu kalulu 226. Weewaawo bino byonna tubyogera wabulanga official website y'akakiiko kono akana ak'ebyokulonda ampuliriza up to date teri results oba teri kiraga nti eggwanga erya Uganda atwetaba mu kalulu ka presidential election 226. Ampuliriza ne wenjogerera bino ng'essaawa ya leero program y'okulonda ba chairman wamu n'okulonda ba village councillors ampuliriza ku official website ya Electoral Commission bagitaddeyo dda wabula akalulu ke twetabamu ng'ennaku z'omwezi ampuliriza 15 January wetwogerera okutuusa kaakano ampuliriza results zino eziteekebwangayo ku website ya Electoral Commission wabula ali bize akukakasa akugamba nti DR form ffe twaziteeka era buli omu azirina atwaziteeka mu bibiina bineeno wabula Ampuliriza sirowooza nti naddala ebibiina eby'opposition waliwo ekibiina mpozi ekyo ekiri in alliance with NRM party. Wabula sisuubira nti waliwo ekibiina ekiyinza okulisavinga DR form okuva mwami Byabakama ne kigaana okuziraga public. Ampuliriza right from start nga tuyingira programu y'akalulu. Musajja mukulu His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu mirundi mingi yavangayo ne yeemulugunya ku byali bigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga, wabula akulira akakiiko k'ebyokulonda ampulira ye ne yeesuulirayo gwa naggamba okutuusiza ddala bwe yavaayo n'amukolera akatambi kalamba ng'agezaako okumunyonyola ebyali bigenda mu maaso wamu n'okumusibako ebisangosango ebyali biraga mbu bw'atyo yali agenze mu maaso n'okumenya amateeka agaateekebwawo akakiiko k'ebyokulonda mu ngeri y'okuwenja akalulu.
Mr. Byabakama, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Byabakama has been conspicuously silent on all these illegalities, all these criminalities and brutalities that are happening to the people of Uganda. Mr. Byabakama was very quick to come out and criticize me for getting out of my car and buying maize from a street vendor. But Mr. Byabakama has been silent about the blockage of roads. He has been silent about the brutality that is unleashed to us. He's been silent about the roads that are blocked on us, failing us to campaign in some areas. Mr. Byabakama more or less descended into the arena himself. He's supposed to be the arbiter, he's supposed to be the referee, but he has taken a side. He came out and, criticized us, naming this a protest vote. We've not heard Mr. Byabakama criticizing Museveni about what he calls protecting his gains. But he came out to criticize the protest vote, clearly showing that he has descended into the arena. Yesterday, the world was shocked to see Mr. Byabakama, a legal expert, saying that people should not get involved in the guarding of their election. So, how can a suspected thief tell you that everything is okay, you don't have to lock your house? We as NUP, we encourage something called active citizen participation, ACP. Active citizen participation in this election, because this election is about Ugandans. We've sensitized Ugandans to go around campaigning morally, reaching out to everybody so that people of Uganda can make an informed decision. Secondly, we've encouraged them to turn out and vote. Thirdly, we have encouraged them to stay there and guard the election. Now, all these are way within the law. All these are within the law, because according to Section 31, subsection 4 of the Presidential Elections Act, the citizens of Uganda have a right to stand 20 meters from the voting table and observe the election. What we are encouraging, Mr. Byabakama, is within the law. That is what the Presidential Elections Act says. The people of Uganda don't trust you, Mr. Byabakama. We don't trust you. That is why we want to make it clear. And we even encourage the NRM and all these other complainants. Let them get involved in guarding the election within the law, non-violently, but assertively. After voting, do what the law says. Stand 20 meters away from the election table, but observe the election. Make sure nobody stuffs ballots into that box. Make sure everything is transparent. What is wrong with that, Mr. Byabakama? Why don't you want people to observe the election? Why do you want people to go back home and sleep so that you bring your cooked results and read them to the people? Isn't it even disturbing to see that the chairperson of the Electoral Commission is repeating what Naruiso is saying? He's repeating what Damulira is saying, meaning that they write the script for Mr. Byabakama and he speaks it out. We want to say this, that if Mr. Byabakama has failed to conduct this election non-partisanly and legally, then Mr. Byabakama should resign Mr. Byabakama, you should resign from the position of chairperson of Electoral Commission if you have failed to conduct an election that is transparent, free, and fair.
Butereevu kakati ampuliriza ebyaddala mu katambi ako oyinza okunoonya w'okootingira Mr. President ensobi ebyaddala ne wakubula kubanga yagamba Mr. Byabakama nti Byabakama, the people of Uganda don't trust you. Byabakama, we don't trust you. How comes ogaana omuntu agende abeerewo asobole okwobuzavinga akalulu ke? Ampuliriza yemu oba ze zimu ku point Mr. President agenda maaso n'okubanga apresentinga mu katambi ako. Kakati ampuliriza okumanya nga mwami Byabakama ye tebaamukkiririzaamu right from the start. Nti ne ku kaseera nga amaze okulangira, jjukira yalangirira mwami Museveni ku bulu miliyoni 7,917,472 obululu obwamuteeka ku percentage ratio eya 71.65%. Mr. Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu n'amulangirira ku bulu miliyoni 2,174,238 obwamuteeka ku percentage ratio ey'ebitundu 24.72%. Ampuliriza bira byonna nga amaze okubirangirira munnamawulire bannaye gwe ampuliriza mu ggwanga erya Uganda kirizagaana ng'oggyeko revolutionary leader akirizagaana media ekoze ekintu ky'amaanyi. You people should credit media. Ampuliriza munnamawulire wa NTV omukutu gwe baakajjako gye buvuddeko awo yayimirira mu maaso ga musajja mukulu ono Justice Simon Mujenyi Byabakama n'amubuuza kaakati ssebo abyolangiridde yes obirangiridde wabula bino obirangiridde osinziira ku ki obijjeewa? Ebyaddala musajja mukulu Byabakama yalaga nti ali mind complicated. Omanyi ampuliriza obumu ku bubonero obulaga omuntu nti nno kaakati alimba kwe kuba nti nno ayogera ayogera akutuka. Sokola baakatambi kano. Ampuliriza omukutu oli ku gwa Uganda 24 media abwentyo nyongera okwebaza yonna gy'osinzidde okubanga otwegattako nga olaba akatambi kano. Kirira nkusaba gwe atannaba kubanga otwegattako akirira wansi awo woolaba akade wamu ne woolaba ekigambo subscribe. Ebigambo ebyo byonna obinyigemu kijja kuyambako okubanga buli mawulire ge tuteekayo ampuliriza ojja kuba omu ku abo abajja okubanga ate mugafuna mbagirawo. Kakati banna nsaba ennyimira wano ku mukutu ogwa Uganda 24 nga nkusaba gwonna ampuliriza agenda mu YouTube yo osaakinga omukutu baguyita MJ Media. Omukutu ogwo ampuliriza nagwo tukola nagwo onkusaba ogende ogusubscribingeko era nagwo ojja gusangako information ey'enjawulo bweti gulina bafollower wetwogerera bali 714. Yes, nkusaba ogende osubscribingeko omukutu ogwo gwetaaga tuweze abantu 1,000 abwetyo tubeere verified tuwenga atukuwa verified information. Kakati ampuliriza oyo y'omukulu Simon Mujenyi Byabakama bw'atyo bwe yaddamu munnamawulire wa NTV mu ngeri ey'okubalaata. Kyekiri kye nagambye nti omuntu kw'omulabira nti alimba kwe kwogera nga atamwa kwe kwogera nga asikattira. Of course kirizagaana aba akulimba. Kakati ampuliriza akamu oba akatambi ke ngenda okupuleyingira. Kakati kano kalaga era kalagira ddala the good thing nti bino byonna ampuliriza tubikuweereza wabula biba byaliwo oba biba byalikodingibwa tukuwa information with evidence. Kakati ampuliriza akatambi ke ngenda okupuleyingira kalaga nti musajja mukulu Simon Mujenyi Byabakama bino byonna ebyagenda ku maaso n'okuba nga ate bikolebwa after nga tumaze okulonda oba kugamba nga tuli mu process y'okubala akalulu n'okulonda. Ampuliriza bino byonna byali biteeketeeke okusinziira katambi kano akengenda okupuleyingira okusinziira ku bigambo bino musajja mukulu Simon Byabakama bye yali agenda mu maaso n'okubanga bw'atyo ayogera. Kino kikulaga lwatu nti byonna ebyali bigenda mu maaso mu kalulu byonna musajja mukulu byagenda mu maaso n'okulangira it was a complete written skit gye yali agenda mu maaso n'okugoberera. Katono nnyo akatambi kano nkusaba okawa obudde ojja kutegeera bano abasajja engeri gye baali bazannyamu ekintu kyabwe era ojja kumanya nti byonna musajja mukulu Simon Byabakama byagenda mu maaso n'okulangirira of course already byali abimanyi ng'era ali ku written skit gye yali agenda mu maaso n'okugoberera. Katono nnyo akatambi kano kawa obudde n'oluvannyuma nkomewo tweyongereyo.
Now I've had this campaign which is trending, akalulu kanoonye, akalulu kalonde, akalulu kakuume, ato kabanje. Kati chikiro kati. That's what is trending now. Now you ask yourself.
What is your interpretation to this?
Yes, look, kanoonye means look for votes. Perfect. That's what the candidates are doing. That's what their agents are doing. That's what their supporters are doing. You are acting within the law to look for votes, but acting within the law. That is okay. 2, kalonde, in other words, go and vote. Perfect. Any candidate who is urging his supporters to go and vote on polling day, I give you 100%. Perfect. That's what elections are about. Let every registered voter go to the polling station you are supposed to vote from and cast your vote. Kakume. Because that's where the challenge now comes in. Some people are saying, when you finish voting, don't go away. Remain there. We must protect our vote. Remain there. You must remain there. You must protect our vote. Then after that, kabanje. In other words, demand for your vote. Now, that's where the challenge comes in. Because according to the law, because they are saying you cannot tell people to go away, Byabakama, because they have got to remain to protect their votes. We don't trust what will happen at the polling station. But we have said the polling station has people who are designated and recognized in law to be present throughout, and those are the agents of the candidates. And each candidate is entitled to 2 agents per polling station. And Section 35 of the Presidential Elections Act says a candidate may be present in person or through his or her representative or polling agent at each polling station. Listen to this. For the purposes of safeguarding the interests of the candidate with regard to the polling process. For the presence of the agent is for purposes of safeguarding the interests of the candidate. So, omukumi alirudawa, you know, this is the vote protector, the agent, because he has said his or her presence is for purposes of safeguarding the interests of the candidate with regard to the polling process at a polling station. Now, you have 8 presidential candidates. Each one is entitled to 2. How many are those? 16. You have 10 or 15 parliamentary candidates. And because presidential and parliamentary elections are taking place the same day. 15 times 2, those are already 30. Right. Plus 16, you have 46 vote protectors inside the polling station. Because these ones are permitted to be inside the polling stations throughout. But for you who is a voter, who has cast your vote, and you are not an agent, although the law says you can stand 20 meters away from the polling station, and that's what they are saying. Byabakama, how can you refuse people to be at the polling station when the law says they should be there? Granted, the law says you should be there. But what is your role after you have cast your vote? What is your role? Now, some of their leaders are misleading them to say, you are the ones who are going to protect our vote. Be there so that you protect our vote. Be there. But the law has said the known vote protectors are the agents who will be allowed inside the polling station right from the time the polling station opens, throughout voting, and throughout counting. Those are the vote protectors. So, if you are kakume, It is not every voter who protects the votes of the candidate they have voted for. No, it is the agents of the candidates who, in the confines of the law, are the vote protectors for their candidates. Then kabanje, then kabanje means demand for it.
If it has been rigged.
Now, the law has said, after polling has ended, counting has been conducted by the presiding officer in the presence of the agents of the candidates. The presiding officer shall record on the declaration of results form the results of that polling station, what each candidate has scored. And the agents shall put their signatures on that reform to confirm this is what has happened. And then the presiding officer shall give a copy of the declaration of results form to the agents of each candidate. So who is kukabanja? The candidates' agents, because the candidates' agents are the ones who are entitled to get a copy of the DR form, not you people who are standing 20 meters away. No, they don't give that DR form to the over your 100 or 500 voters of candidate X. We are going to be here and to kabanje. Tuja kuvawanu to ino kabanja. The DR form is being given to the agents, not to you. So please, as far as kukanonya, mukanonya, you can look for the votes. As far as kukalonda, you can go and vote. As far as kukakuma is concerned, if you are not an appointed agent of a candidate, it's not your work to kukuma or protect the vote. It is the agents of the candidacy. Okukabanja, it is not for you kukabanja. It is the agents again who will get this DR form and take it to their candidate and tell him or her, this is what we have scored at this polling station.
Justice,
so,
in the previous elections, we witnessed cases where some of the agents with DR forms were arrested on their way to the tallying centers and so on. So maybe this is where they base their decision from.
No, but first of all, arresting an agent of a candidate who is recognized in law is wrong, and we condemn it. It's wrong, unless that agent has been found to be committing an offense. But if not, he or she is deployed at a polling station legally and in line with the law. Therefore, nobody has the right to arrest an agent of a candidate who is leaving the polling station or at a polling station. But sadly, that form, we also, the DR form is also sent to the tally center. And a candidate, incidentally, a candidate is also entitled to have his or her agents at a tally center. Other people, they are agents at a polling station. They are agents at a tally center. So that these agents can witness how the results are being brought in, how the returning officer is opening that tamper-proof envelope where the DR form is slotted by the presiding officer to establish, is it open or not? Is the seal broken or not? And mind you, when the seal of that tamper-proof envelope is broken, you can never reseal it. So the agents at the polling station or observers will be there to see or to witness how the tallying process is being undertaken. You get me? And therefore, there is insufficient safeguards in our law to assure the candidates that, look, you have enough protection of your votes at the polling station. You have enough protection of the results that are being tallied at the tally center. All these things are there.